Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. Today I want to cover if Topstep is worth it. Is it a scam? I know there's a lot of information out there. But first, if you want to join the UVH community, links are below in the description to our Discord and our options trading group on Facebook. But I actually didn't know anything about like this industry. I didn't know Topstep existed. I mean, I was trading futures. I was trading futures on my TD Ameritrade account, Thinkorswim account, Tastyworks, and I also was previously to Trade08. I was trading on NinjaTrader, and we'll kind of get more into the platforms maybe in another video because I just want to keep this focus right here. But I came over, I came across Topstep. I'm like, hey, what's this? What they're willing to fund you at what expense? Now, I will say, before we get into everything, that Topstep makes a lot of money from the monthly fees, which we'll go over here. So, take it as you will. I mean, the system is designed they say to make you succeed, but at the same time, they do make a lot of money the longer that you're trapped into, let's say, the demo or paper account. So, let's kind of take a look at what is going on here with Topstep. Okay, so you can do futures. I'm just covering futures trading, not going to cover Forex. I actually, I did demo this back in December for like a month just to kind of see what it is. So I wanted to see what the experience was. What can you do? And they have three different options. They say, hey, you get $50,000 in buying power, $100,000 in buying power, or $150,000 in buying power. And the first one costs $165, the middle one costs $325 a month, and the last one, the biggest one, costs $375 a month, which all have different target. Now, if you're a beginner trader, and this is one of the things that I discovered within the Topstep system, is if you're a beginner trader, it's actually not going to teach you any strategy. Sure, they have the rules to help you along, but they don't actually give you like a strategy that you could use. So if you're just like brand new, nothing about futures trading, I definitely recommend going to like Trade08, signing up for a paper trading account. It's free, and trying to develop some sort of strategy that works for you on there, because they don't give you any strategy. Sure, they give you the platform and the rule set, but they don't give you the strategy. They do have like, their podcast and all that, but they don't actually have training materials to kind of guide you in a way. I mean, they say they do, but it's not. They don't really give you a strategy or formula or figure out how does trading futures work for me, because we all trade them differently. Some people scalp, some people swing, some people go, hey, I only trade every 10 seconds. Some people hold for minutes or hours. I mean, we all, based on our personalities and different, risk profiles, we all trade differently, right? So, like, if you're brand new, I definitely wouldn't recommend Topstep, because you're going to be paying a minimal $165 a month to paper trade, to learn. And if you want to like learn by the rules, right? If you wanted to learn by the rules, they give you all the rules here that you need to stick by. So if you're like, hey, I want to be a better trader and I want to stick by these rules, then you can still stick by them on a paper trading account, whether it's NinjaTrader. I mean, NinjaTrader has a paper trading account. Trade08 has a paper trading account. So you can, there's no excuses here that you can't learn. I mean, they give you what the rules are here. You can look it up here. I'm not going to go into specifics here. And on Trade08, you could actually, set your risk settings. So if you only, for the different, if you're looking to get the $50,000 package here, your daily loss limit's $1,000, your weekly loss limit is $1,000, and your, trailing max down is $2,000. Now, I will say, I mean, just full disclosure, I'm no longer a Topstep member. I just did it for a month or a little bit over a month just to see kind of what it was. And because, I mean, I trade futures regularly. I don't need to get funded. So I just wanted to, kind of see what this whole industry was about. So I wanted to, try it out for myself, right? So if you're brand new, I would definitely just recommend sticking by these rules right here and paper trading. Now, if you're like, everyone has a different situation, right? So if people are like, well, I don't have the money to get funded. I don't have money for a futures account. I don't have the amount of money. Now, I would say if you have at least a $5,000 to $10,000 account, you can trade futures successfully with the risk that they have set up here. Now, if you have $300, I mean, it's probably not going to cut it. And if you have $300, you're probably going to struggle even with these monthly payments, right? And not only do you have to hit, the different targets, right? So it says profit target right here per step. So there's 2 steps in the platform, in the program here, and each one has a different profit target. And the $50,000 profit target is 3,000, 6,000, and 100,000, and then on 9,000 and 150,000, right? However, you have to hit these targets twice, not only in step 1, you then have to hit them in step 2. So if on the $50,000 account, you actually have to hit $6,000 in profits for you to actually be eligible for a real funded account through Topstep. Now, if you break one of the single rules, one rule, which will go right here. In step 1, if you break one of these rules, you actually have to get a reset. And you can either wait for your monthly to renew and your account automatically gets reset, or for $99, you could reset your account and start over. And this is where they make money. So they make money on the monthly and they make money on the resets, right? So on step 1, you have to hit the profit target. Let's say $50,000 minimum, $3,000. You have to trade a minimum of 5 days, so you can't make all the money in one day. If you made $3,000 in one day, you actually have to continue trading the rest until you hit at least a minimum of 5 days. This is for step 1, by the way. You cannot hit the daily loss limit. So the daily loss limit for the $50,000 account is $1,000. You hit the $1,000, your account's wiped. You're hit. You're done. And that's why I say maybe it's not like the best option, even for like experienced traders, because then you have to, if you hit this by even like a penny, 1,001 cent, your account gets reset. You have to pay them more money to continue. It's a very pay to play, even though you're paper trading. And it costs Topstep nothing. While you are paper trading and you're in this kind of like purgatory of step 1, step 2 to get a funded account, you're paper trading. So for them, there's no risk. They're not making money on you and they're not losing money on you. The only way they're making money on you is through the monthly fees and then the resets, which if you are a horrible trader, which a lot of people are, a lot of people, especially like people come to Topstep and they're like, hey, I just want to learn how to trade. And they keep blowing the account. They're like, oh, I'm glad it wasn't real money. But they could actually blow their account on a paper trade with Trader of 8 or NinjaTrader, and it costs you $0. If you want to reset, if you want to put $5,000 back into that simulation account, if you want to put $10,000 back in the simulation account, you just do it on the platform, and it doesn't cost you a penny. So for that, it is sketch. They do lock you in, and if you want to continue, you have to pay to play. I mean, this is kind of very like iOS. You get the game for free, but it's pay to play, pay to win here. So if you do hit this, and most people I guarantee are hitting, at least they're breaking one of these rules here, because a lot of people that are joining this are not experienced traders, and Topstep doesn't really does a great job to like kind of guide you to profitability. They say, here's the rules, but they don't really guide you to get to that point where profitable. I mean, most traders that are trading are not profitable, especially when they're just starting out. I mean, the first year of trading, most people lose money 1 to 5 years. Just like any business, you lose money 1 to 5 years. So, moving on here, you cannot allow your balance to hit or exceed the maximum trailing drawdown. So as you make money, there's actually a trailing maximum drawdown that you can lose that you can actually have your account dip. So if you go up $3,000 and then dip $4,000, you're actually going to hit your trailing stop or be right at your trailing stop on because I mean the goal for them, why they have the trailing stop is for you to continually grow your account, right? And one of the things is they don't want you liquidating your account. So even like when you're eligible for a withdrawal, you can only withdraw 50% of your funds. You can't be like, okay, I want to have a $100,000 account. When I get to 110,000, I'm going to 105. I'm going to go down to 100,000 again, do a reset. No, if you have 110,000, you can withdraw 5,000 and you go down to 105,000. Because what they want to do, you have to work with their scaling plan, which they have here, which we'll cover in step 2. The scaling plan, they want you to continually grow your account, right? So let's say you do get through step 1. Step 2, you actually have to do it all over again. However, the rules are more strict, so there's more ways to potentially fail. The good news is if you do break one of these rules, and you do a reset, you still stick within step 2. You don't go back to step 1 and have to do it all over. But you're still, in this purgatory where you again have to make a minimum of $3,000, or if you're the bigger accounts, you're gonna have to make the 9,000, 6,000. However, you can't have your best day on step 2. Your best day can't be below 40% of total profits made. So if you what they're trying to do is not have like huge winning days and then have like very small days, like basically trying to make sure you're not getting lucky, right? So you can't have like a $9,000 day, kind of similar to why they have a minimum of 5 days here. You can't have like, hey, we're going to be making $9,000 all in one day, and that's triple to what I need, and then you don't trade the rest of the time and you're hitting that. So they want to make sure. The reason why they set this up is to make sure you're a consistent trader. So if you're making $1,000 a day, and there's a lot of truth to that, though. I mean, I will say, to make money in the market, you have to be consistent as a trader. Like for me, I have to be consistent day in, day out. The one time I break my rules, I pay money. Here, not only are you going to pay money to the market, you're also going to be paying money to Topstep every time you break your rules, right? They also have the trailing max down in step 2. Now, the difference is for step 2, you cannot hit the weekly loss limit. So the weekly loss limit, one of the trickier parts, the weekly loss limit is also the same as the daily loss limit. So for step 1, or for the 50K account, you can't lose $1,000 in a day. You can't lose $1,000 in a week. So if you lost, let's say $750 today, and then you lost $250 tomorrow, you broke the rule. Your account gets reset. Versus in step 1, you're still good because you didn't have a daily loss. In step 2, they're tracking weekly loss. So they're making sure that your profit target is tight. They're making sure your profits are tight. And what they're doing is before you get to the funded account, they're making sure you're profitable, and they're weeding out through this everybody that just barely makes it. Like they want the best of the best. Why? Because you actually have to give them part of your profits when you make money, right? So when you get a funded account, you actually have to pay them a percentage of the funds that you get. I think it's like 25%. Let me see. Is it in here? We'll check that. We'll check that in a second. But they do take a percentage of your proceeds. So not only going to be paying them every month, you also have to pay them for the data fee, which is $99 a month. You have to pay them for real-time data and commissions, right? You cannot hold through major economic releases. Now, I think this is a good ad. I definitely don't hold through major economic releases. What that is like, OPEC, oil, Fed minutes, Fed meetings, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not going to drill down into that here, but major economic releases, you cannot hold a position through. If you do, you break a rule, you get reset, which I think is good because, I mean, those if you're trading the reports, I mean, you're basically gambling, right? You're basically gambling. So, so from what I tell from it, like again, I'm going to reiterate: if you're a brand new trader, I don't think this is for you because again, they're not going to teach you any strategy. They're going to take a lot of money from you up front while you're trying to learn. And you could do that. You could do that and follow these same rules on a paper trading account. And you're like, well, I'm not working towards anything. Yeah, you're working on the process. You're working on becoming a better trader. And then if you need the money, you can go into here. However, like you never really get access to like the full $50,000 or the full $1,000. I mean, if they give you a $50,000 account and the most you can lose is $1,000, how much are they really giving you, right? The most you could lose is $1,000. You could trade 5 contracts, which if you're with NinjaTrader or TraderVate on margin, basically it'll cost you $1,000 per contract. So they're letting you trade $5,000 with a stop loss of $1,000. So you're never really given access to the full like $50,000. It just kind of makes it feel good, right? It makes you, I'm a big account trader. I've got $50,000. I got a $100,000 account. But really, if even in the $150,000 account, at 15 contracts, and if you do it like on NinjaTrader at $1,000, that's $15,000. that you can have your maximum position size. So the maximum on margin is $15,000 now. I mean, that's a big position, but if you're thinking that you have $150,000, it's not true. It's not true. So, kind of going through this. I mean, I think that for the beginner trader, I want to reiterate, I don't think it's for you. You can learn a lot of this on your own, paper trading. And if you're lazy and you don't want to, I mean, you're going to fail at trading anyways. I hate to say it. I think Topstep is good if you're experienced and you need the money to get started. And then after you get started, you can, take your profits and leave. But it will cost you money to get up front. So how much money plus commissions is it going to cost you to be profitable? Are you better off just working a side job? I mean, this is going to come down to just, everyone's circumstances is going to be different, right? So some people have a little bit of money in their savings. Some people don't. I mean, do you want to just do some DoorDash or Uber Eats and save up to get that account? That way you don't have to pay the $200 to $300 a month. Because I mean, that's a big cost. And meanwhile, while you're learning or while you're going through the step, you're paying them money. So a minimum, let's say you did it for 1 month, you have to pay them $165 for that first month, which you could have used on your real account or you could have used for commissions when you started trading, right? So, is it a scam? I don't think it's a scam. Is it worth it is the question. I think that comes down to the individual. Like, based off of what I said here, I think there's a lot of things that you could do that could save you a lot of money. But if you really need the money to get started, like if you don't have the 3,000, but you do have like 1,000, you don't have the 5,000 to 10,000 to start a futures account, then maybe start off there, try to build yourself up, and then as you build yourself up, take those profits, open another account with NinjaTrader or Tradeovate, and be on your way. And thank Topstep for the opportunity. I mean, that's all it really is. So if you watch this video to the end, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Let me know you watched to the end. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.